My name is Julio Saran. I also go by Smurf the Funky Mayan. I've been popping for 15 years and dancing most of my life, I guess. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I moved to Arizona about 5 years ago, 2018. And then ever since then, I've just kind of been popping. In the last couple of years, we started the Funky Mayan session, and we've been doing it for 3 years strong. We've been teaching a bunch of free classes, and just kind of trying to teach people and just share the culture for free as much as we can.
Within within your bracket of competitive dancing and dancing in general, what are some things that you've noticed grow in the community as far as street dance culture?
As far as what?
Street dance culture.
What are some things that I've noticed?
Yes.
I think some of the things that I've noticed is um, just the growth. I don't know. I think a lot of us have grown. A lot of us have been okay with being wrong or being educated, and I think that's helped in creating a space where we don't really do the little kid stuff or the drama stuff. If you got some beef and you want to squash it, then we talk about it then, right? Like, dance isn't going to solve all of our problems. Dance isn't going to be our therapy, but I feel like a lot of us have been making an effort in growing within ourselves and being open to share and being open to being heard. And a lot of us have also been open to being wrong or to even to apologize, and I think that's been a really huge contributor as to why it's grown as much as it has here.
Okay. All right. Cool beans. So here comes the gyms portion. What's some insightful knowledge that you would have for the new generation coming into our culture as it's growing?
Yeah, I think some insightful knowledge is something that has helped me a lot in navigating and being a part of this newer generation of dance. Even though I'm 30 and I've been around since 2008, 2009, I still recognize that I'm still kind of new, right? And I think something that I can impart on other people is that all these dances were created by teenagers, by little kids, by people who were struggling at home, who don't have the resources to be able to do these, to be able to experience dance like we get to experience it, right? We're very privileged. And just to remember, right, that if little kids made these dance, a lot of those traditions and a lot of those things that we do currently were started by children. And I know that as an adult, I'm not a child. Like I said, I'm not going to handle everything with a dance battle. Sometimes we need to talk things out. Sometimes we need to be adults and communicate like adults. And so just kind of remembering those things. A lot of the traditions that we hold, a lot of the things that we like to do aren't really going to be relevant to us today, right? Because we didn't come from this. We don't come from the streets. A lot of us aren't doing or selling drugs, right? A lot of us aren't living that gang life, and so a lot of those things are going to apply to us. And so if they don't apply to us, we have to change the dance a little bit to make it fit where our experiences are. And so that's kind of my piece of just knowledge and a gem. It's like, we're not little kids, so if we're adults doing this dance, then let's act like adults.
So, within the competitive dance sectum of our culture, what are some things that you've seen grow and change over the past couple years?
As far as like competitive dancing, something that I've noticed is a lot of people have been more open and aware that winning isn't everything, right? Winning isn't an indicator of how good or bad you are. And it's also not to say that it's not a something to use as an indicator too, right? Like, if somebody's winning consistently, then there's probably a reason for that, right? They're probably working hard or putting in all of extra effort, but it's not the end all be all. And so I think that a lot of young people have been recognizing and noticing that, if you lose or if you don't win, it's just opinions, right? A lot of us are putting ourselves in a position to be judged. And so if you don't like somebody's opinions, we're not going to participate. But at the same time, we're not going to take it to heart. And I think I really appreciate seeing young people show up, not win, and still enjoy the event, right? So still stay to the end, still break bread with people, still get to know somebody. You never know who you get to meet. You never know where you get to travel next and who already lives there. So I think as far as the competitive space goes, I've been seeing a lot of people have like a lot of internal growth and definitely making the effort to not let it get to you, right? Because we lose, we start comparing ourselves to other people, we start thinking we're not good enough, and then that makes us kind of fall back and not enjoy the culture as much as we can. I think one of the biggest secrets to popping is being able to use your diaphragm, right? I think the easiest way to create that intensity and to create that illusion of a hit or the bass being inside of your body or the snare being inside of your body is being able to use your diaphragm. And so, like, if you exhale out, that feeling that you get in your diaphragm, that's what you're trying to recreate, and that's kind of where the hit comes from. At least how I've learned it and how I've grown within the dance, right? I think your diaphragm and your core is going to be the most powerful asset as far as popping goes and the intensity of your hit.
What has been your like recent interpretation of the crump scene?
My recent interpretation of the crump scene. I mean, I think just like with popping, I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I've grown up seeing crump my whole life. My popping OGs have nephews that are crump OGs, and so I've been around the culture. I'm in a crump fam, and so I think for me, I've always enjoyed the culture. Even before I started popping, I saw the movie Rise, and I think that kind of set me on a path of understanding what a crump is, right? I'm not a part of the culture like that. I'm definitely not on the inside in any way. But as a fan and as a spectator and as somebody who's in a fam that is heavy into it, I think I really enjoy the raw energy that comes with it. I think that I'm recognizing that there are boundaries within crump that don't exist, or there are boundaries within popping that don't exist within crump. And so being able to respect that culture and to go into that space and be able to kind of experience it from that perspective has been really cool. And awesome to see for sure.
Beautiful. Let's see. What else could we ask? What are some other endeavors that dancers can get involved in within our culture?
I mean, I think just like a lot of us consider ourselves artists, there's so many ways to go about that, what that looks like, right? Some of us are artists just as hobbyists, right? And I have a full career outside of dance and dance to me is just a hobby. I don't really care to make money off of it. So people have it as their sole source of income. And so I think being open to experiencing dance in every which way is only going to benefit you. But I also think like if you wanna, I think the most important part to engage with dance is to do it because you love it, right? And I think the money comes when the passion is there. And so, just compete. If you want to teach, if you want to share with the community, there's plenty of grant programs. Also, a lot of the work that we do and a lot of the value that we provide comes from grants, comes from the city funding us. And so look into those things, right? I don't think dance is an end all be all. I don't think there's a specific route to take. And so as an artist, like just be open, listen to people, find a mentor, see who's doing what you want to do, right? And then ask them questions, pick the brain. And even for me, I think I wouldn't have found this avenue if it wasn't for my mentors and the people that taught me and came before me and kind of laid the path down for me to just follow, right? And all I'm doing is copying and pasting and just doing it my own way.
Dancing and style.
Okay, so my name is Lala. I was born in Maryland, but I'm most recently from Surprise, Arizona. Currently live in like Tempe area, just on the east side. I've been dancing for like 8 years now, but I've really been training for reals in freestyle for two years this summer, I think. Yeah, 2 years this summer. And then my style, well, like just my personal style in general, I would say it's very groovy and more like patient and flowy. In terms of like specific style, I would say house is definitely my go-to. I consider myself a little tiny bit of a houser just because like the funky nature of it is very me.
So you've been dancing for about how long now?
8 years total.
8 years total. How many of those years have you been competing?
Like battling or team competitions? Actually, it's the same. It's been like 2 years. It's been since I started at Juke. I didn't battle or compete before coming there.
Okay. So you would say about 2 years into the street dancing?
Yes, that's exactly the way to put it. 2 years into street styles, yes.
Okay, cool. So what's your experience so far with street dance culture?
10 out of 10. Before this, I didn't really have or know any kind of dance culture. Surprise, Arizona, which is where I was when I started dancing. I was just on my high school dance team. They taught me choreo. We did it at the assembly, and that was about it. But coming out here and finding this whole culture and community at first was just a whole, I guess, like culture shock would be the way to put it. I didn't know anything. I had never heard of the like dance competitions or street styles or open classes. When locking was first shown to me, I was like, what? It was just a whole new world. But I fell in love with it right away. I love street styles. I love freestyle and training. I've been really trying to grow in like the battle scene lately and stuff like that. Yeah, I definitely feel like I found a home.
So, what are some prominent things you've noticed that benefited you long term from the street communities?
I think one thing, honestly, would be confidence. That's something that I felt a lot of lately, specifically. I think I have been growing a lot and just like believing in myself, taking the support from the community, specifically like seeing everyone around me believe in me has made it a lot easier for me to believe in myself and just grow in dance and stuff like that. And also just I'm feeling like a part of something, as cheesy or whatever as that might sound, you know. I don't believe we're all out here to just be doing this stuff by ourselves. And so to be a part of this community where we all trying to grow and train in our journey and stuff is really cool.
What are some things that you like and what are some things that you dislike that you would say to your former rookies? Well, future rookies.
I mean, like is easy, you know, off the bat, just the community, again, to say the word again, just the fact that, you know, I come into these classes with people I've spoken to like maybe once or twice in passing, and they greet me every time. They'll give me a hug, say, hey, what's up, how you been? You know, I can go to them and be like, hey, how'd you do that thing you just did? And they'll show me, just because we're all here to like learn and teach each other. And just the like access to growth and inspiration and everything that's just always around you. It's amazing, it's beautiful, and I love all of that. This, like, I mean, I don't even know if there's, I mean, you gonna feel pushed, I'll say that. There are gonna be times when you don't wanna go in the cypher, you don't wanna sign up for the battle, and someone's gonna make you do it, and you might even be nervous as all hell while you're doing it. But at the end of the day, it's still gonna feel great because you did something you wouldn't have done before, something that maybe you would have like not pushed yourself to do, but the people around you are just supporting you enough that you're like, nah, like, why not? I'm gonna try it this time. And so, yeah, it's not even really a dislike. It be stressing me out sometimes, but in the long run, it's all good.
What are some styles that you've seen that you particularly like the most when it comes to training?
Oh, first of all, there ain't a style you can keep me off of. Like, I love styles, but specifically, I guess I said house. House is probably my number one right now anyway. It's just like a go-to. I feel really comfortable. Even when I don't know what I'm doing, I feel comfortable trying stuff. Locking and popping have also been some real favorites of mine. Any of the, I guess, like funkier styles, as you might think of it, because I really like that type of pocket and that groove. But I can't sleep on crump, and I also haven't mentioned whacking. Like I said, there's really not a style that I won't do, but crump and whacking also have these different kinds of pockets that I just like really have been falling in love with lately. So I'm all over the place. I gotta tone it down.
What style would you say right now are you leaning towards pursuing long term?
I don't even know if I have an answer, just because every time I think about it right now, I just think about like how I'm gonna go to the locking class and the popping class this week, and I'm gonna try to do a house private and all this stuff. I think I don't know, I guess I just have to say house, because like I said, right now that's just like what's really home. House has always been a pretty like a style that felt natural to me, I think. So I see myself definitely taking that with me like forever. But popping and locking, as I just said, are also definitely right there. That's why I'm at these classes each week, trying to get my skill up.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if it's something I wish I knew. I feel like it's something I probably knew, but you always have to hear it again. And I didn't even really accept or internalize until recently. But when it comes to like a cipher or even a battle or anything like that, the way that you are not sitting there judging all the people around you are not sitting there judging you. Like, don't get so caught up in what if they think I did bad, what if they think this of my round, what if they think that. Because if you're not sitting there putting that energy out to people, if you're just sitting there loving and supporting on everyone around you, the community around you is going to love and support you too. And so just don't take that stuff to heart. Yeah, I guess that's what I got.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Don't
thank
worry,
you.
I'll chop it up.
Thanks, for sure.
Alright, hey, I've been doing this for too long. Because you guys are going to be my first story. I've been doing it at Jukebox, as you can see, for a minute with Dead End.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to figure out where all the other sessions are. So I can get in touch with you people, because nobody, like I said, the world doesn't even talk to us.
Yeah, true.
They will talk to KD, they will talk to Jordan, all of them.
Yeah.
But you got them, those athletes praising us, and nobody talking.
I know there's also if you need like some other ones to think about, I know there's a breaking session at ASU on Thursdays, and I know there's also, Justice.
I wouldn't remember her by face.
It's a guy, Justice or Just a Kid. He battles a lot. I feel like you must have seen him around. I know he used to post stuff on his stories about a Sunday session that he was trying to have every Sunday.
I think I've
maybe
seen
in
him.
Phoenix or something. I think so. That might be another one to check out. But yeah. So yeah, for sure.
Definitely. So that's a good one. Competitions. Let's talk about competitions.
A little bit. I do want to get in there though.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Okay, we're gonna get one more question.
Okay.
So we're gonna get one question about competitions. What's some things that you've seen in competition that would be considered rules and regulations?
I mean, besides the literal rules, like every competition has a rule book that I highly recommend reading, because you'd be surprised what like little rules that certain comps have that others don't, that can help you when you're planning your set, little tricks and stuff like that. But unsaid rules is stuff like what kind of sets you should bring to comps in terms of how much styles you're using, how much like pop music you're using, even the types of costumes you have. But I mean, judges are gonna judge. Like every judge that you have is gonna have a different thing that they like more than one or the other. Some judges are gonna like when costumes look like this. Some judges are gonna like it this way. Some judges are gonna really like styles and like that you're bringing that authentic hip hop. And some judges like the more LA style and what's going on out there and whatnot. So all the comps got rules, which is why you got to take any competition with a grain of salt, however they go. But yeah, I don't know. That's it.
All right, cool, beautiful.